The first layout that caught my attention at the National Train Show in 2018 was this European 3-rail HO scale layout. I liked how the fan blades in this steam locomotive's tender actually spun. This lifting bridge actually lifted by itself.
Much admired by the members.
These were the trains that were sitting in the yard on this layout. Too bad they didn't run a steam train while I was there. I believe these next few shots were from this layout owned by the Northeast Kansas Railroaders, Inc. They even put a Bachman Thomas in the middle of the street. Reference to Thomas Breaks the Rules. This next layout was pretty cool because it had a lot of industrial settings like oil fields and container terminals. Plus this very long train. There's even this very large ship, the KM Nebraska. Even in HO scale, it's pretty huge. Probably one of my favorite models at the show. There was also this large container storage facility. I like the inclusion of this sign too. Now this was the cool oil thing that I was talking about earlier. There's also this neat station, kind of like something you'd see in like New Mexico, Arizona, or California. Although there was this other freight train led by Burlington Northern 1991, unfortunately there were only 2 trains running on this layout. It was a pretty cool modular HO scale layout, including a fairground with a HON3 train running around. Many of the rides were activated by a user pushing the button, like this raft ride. Some of the trains even had a camera on it. Each of the modules had the creator's name on them.
Walk around a little bit, but more layout. So why don't we start down the other second layout?
I definitely remember seeing this crowded harbor before with a Bachmann cranking the crane on it.
Still killing it.
This next layout here had a fictional railroad fleet, and it was pretty big. It had quite a few engine terminals too. This next layout was a pretty big and complex N-scale modular layout with modules from all over the country. Public model train display in my area had an N-scale modular layout, but it was kinda different to this here, which used Kato track. I call this layout complex because there are modules like this. Someone even made an uphill railway module, but unfortunately the uphill railway wasn't working. Even though this ship was an N-scale, it's quite rather big. Not as big as the ship we looked at before. There was even the Dr. Yellow Shinkansen running around. Every time I see an N-scale Shinkansen in action, it's always going rather fast. I was almost jogging trying to get this shot. Completely forgot who owned this layout. I believe these next few shots were all from the same HO scale layout. I can't really remember if all of them were. The layout was really huge. It took up a majority of the event space. Tyco cars in the back. I really like this big station here. This Norfolk and Western train was really long, probably the longest train at the entire show. These next few sections were of Knapford Station and had some Bachman Thomas and Friends models on them. Even this sign from the Magic River is a model the NWR. While I was observing this section, one kid asked me if I could run one of the Thomas trains, and I said that I didn't have the power to do so. This shot is one of my favorites, a Santa Fe Warbot next to Thomas the Tank Engine. Also parked on one of the sidings on this railroad was this unusual Colorado Rail-Link diesel. There was also this large bridge with the third track removed. I got some close-ups of this F unit because I've seen the real one at the Colorado Railroad Museum in Golden, Colorado. That train actually broke off screen and the other train was pushing the rest of it forwards. Well, that's all for part 2 for my visit to the 2018 National Train Show, including Lego trains, Z-scale trains, N-scale trains, and HO-scale trains. So stay tuned.